Alright, hello everybody, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are, welcome. We are here in Autodrom Most in Czech Republic today, with the Shakedown race, just to check everything is running okay, that we don't have any technical issues, and that all the drivers can behave themselves. So join us, it should be a nice evening of racing, and hopefully it's entertaining for you to watch. We have, obviously this is the round 0 of our European Touring Championship hosted by Charged. We have two types of cars on the grid. They are the Mercedes E130 and the BMW M3 DTM cars. They're really fun to drive, both really close together. Performance wise, so it should be a blast to see these guys just take them around track. I'm gonna let the Autocam take us through some of the practice session, as we see drivers still exploring the areas of track, the runoffs and the zigzags that you must take to return safely onto the racetrack. In the meantime, I want to get some housekeeping done as well, so bear with me. Yes, Naughty, I do have a new mic. Oh, quick announcement for those of you in chat who like to participate in the viewing of the events. We've added a reward for the charge points, a new way to redeem them. You can use your charge points in chat to cheer on for your favorite drivers, and it'll be that much more fun for them to rewatch the streams later on. I know most of them do rewatch them, so they would love to see your support in the chat. It's Naughty cheering on for Alan. Nice one. Who removed the 20k make the commentator sing reward? Not me, but I'm glad it's not there anymore, I'll tell you that. Because I do want to use some predictions throughout, potentially this session, but definitely throughout the championship. So, yeah, I'd rather not give you that power of making me or any of the commentators sing. But if you have got good ideas for what we can do with charge points in the chat to reward your participation, then yeah, definitely come over to the Discord GG/charged, and throw some ideas out. like I said, I'd love to get some predictions going in chat to get you guys engaged, to have a little bit of fun with the results of the races, a little bit of betting for virtual points, just fun. So if you have any ideas of what we can try and predict, then give us a shout. Some good auto camming going on there as we watch trees. Yeah, obviously I don't really want to get into predicting who gets pole straight away and who wins the race straight away, because we don't really know the performance of these guys yet in those cars. We haven't seen it in race, so that's another reason why it's good to watch the Shakedown. Well, I think we have most of the drivers that will be joining us today on the grid now. Maybe a couple more joining in towards the end of the practice session. I know that Redshift has managed to do it, so that's awesome. Good to see him on. I know that he struggled with his a set of course settings. He just built a new computer and wasn't sure if he was going to be able to join us, but glad to see him on the track. It'll be awesome to see him race. He's very, very good. But yeah, I think that's all of the drivers that will be joining us today. Overall, we have 21 drivers for the championship. And unfortunately, not all of them could make it today. But from following races, you should expect to see most, if not all of them, on the grid. And it is a very, very talented grid. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, we've seen most of these guys in most of the events at Charged before, and we all know that they're really good. We have some newcomers as well, which is really wonderful to see. I love seeing new faces, and we'll see what they can do. If they can challenge the old guard here at Charged. I'll let Dario here take us on a lap around Most, as he's just started. Oh no, and I think I've cursed him. That was quick. Good to get that out of the way early, I guess. Sorry, Dario, that's my bad. As he goes back to pits, let's see, is DK going to be able to take us through? He's slowing down for T1. This is a tricky corner here because it turns really deep into itself and then switches back onto T2 really, really quickly. It's quite tricky to get. It's easy to get a cut track on the outside of T2 on the exit. Ren's asking if I do have any sound mods installed. Yes, I do. Shout out to Patrese for sending me a link. I think it was yesterday or the night before that, with a really, really good sound mod for the M3. Yeah, it sounds incredible. Just on the outside, especially, they sound much more like the real DTM cars. And I found another one for the E130. Fonseca, it might have been that. I'll double check. And I'll send a link after the stream on Discord, so you can check it out there. DK in his watermelon livery, making his way around the track. Really fun track, and especially the sort of the fast flowing second sector. I think that is going to be a really fun part to see those cars race wheel to wheel through there, and navigating the kink especially. That's such a cool corner. Here at the exit of turn 20, the last corner, the inside is really slippery on the curb, and the sausage curve is just a straight up murderer. So best not to touch those, because ferries just spin throughout there. And I know that because I've done it multiple times when I was trying out the cars. Alright, so we've got DK in his watermelon livery. We've got Toxic. Of course, I've done this right when our practice session is coming to an end. We've got Toxic in a Schnitzer, I think, livery. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know any German. Apologies if not. But really nice looking car. The Mercedes. Lovely stuff. But Divi in a really awesome, I love this livery. It's really creative. It's nice and colorful. M3. That just looks so good. Got Dario in the, I think this is a real livery from the DTM series in the 90s. Really nice looking car. AP, I think, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think AP is a new driver coming in for this championship. Or at least I haven't seen him before, but coming in with a really nice big logo livery. Love it. We've got a YouTube channel link right there, as I've got my cat walking all over my desk right now, and that's not particularly useful. We've got Droop Tex teaming up with Jikusek with the Arbaz liveries in the Mercedes cars. They look really good. I think Jikusek has the white version of this. And Turtle in the Martini liveried Mercedes as well. And I don't have enough time to go over the other ones for now as we go into qualifying. And here is me in my Audi broadcasting vehicle, just to keep everyone confused. We've seen Troop Tex, we've seen Turtle in the Martini livery, really nice looking car as well. Got B260 in his own little tiny blue B car, love it. That's gonna stand out. I love the gold rims on that, really nice. Got Phil in his car with some Michelin sponsors, number 88, really nice as well. I love the checkered flag on the top. Smithy does not yet have a livery, I think. I heard a rumor that maybe Staven is working on a livery for him. Alan, not a livery yet either. We've got Boz with a nice livery here as well. That's going to stand out nicely. It's nice and... oh, there we go. Here we go into qualifying. Nice cyan livery. As Boz takes us out of the pit lane. It is number 95 car. It's really solid. And I think, no, that's not all of them. We've seen Dario. Shallow is in a stock livery for now as well. Seen DK, I think. Oh no. Okay, yeah, Pika Rush is also in a stock livery for now. Hoping to see an Atlantis Racing livery coming for the championship. Alright, we have got qualifying on the way now. We've got 20 minutes to do qualifying here at Autodrom Most in the Czech Republic. Really nice track, very fast, very flowing. It's not too long, but it's got a lot of turns, though most of them probably don't really feel like turns to these guys. They'll be nice and flat. A few lifts here. Yeah, the second sector in this track, the back sort of area of the track is going to be really quick. So I wonder where all the overtakes are going to happen. I honestly can't predict it. Sorry about that. Oh yes, of course. Today we are running with evolving track conditions, so they will improve over time. We started with the track being sort of not fully rubbered out. It doesn't have the full grip at the start of the practice session. The practice session is now over, so that they've put down a fair amount of rubber on the surface of the track now. hopefully that will stick enough to allow them to set some really, really fast qualifying laps towards the end of the session. But it gives us that opportunity to see the progression of times a little bit more, I think. It will give the drivers a bit more of a challenge as well, which I think is really interesting to see. Alright, so we see drivers are now starting to set laps, actual representative laps on the qualifying session. We've got Judd joining us as well now in the quali, which is awesome. Just one more car to have on the grid. And I mean, we've done so much testing with these cars in the community and with drivers in the community to see how they race together on different tracks, and the racing is going to be spectacular. They go really well, wheel to wheel, really well, door to door. They can handle a couple scuffs as well, which is nice. Of course, we are running with some damage enabled. We're capping at about 75% just to avoid any accidental like glitchy crashes. At the end of the day, this is going to be a set of Corsa, and sometimes netcode can do some tricky things, so we don't want anybody to lose out on a really fun event by having some issues. So we're capping it about 75%, but that's still enough to potentially throw some curveballs towards them. And of course the races are 45 minutes long, so can expect pit stops, which is really good to see. There's an extra element of strategy coming in, which is going to be really cool. Every driver is going to have a different approach to it, I think, in the balance between how they use their tires and their fuel. So yeah, love to see it. We're seeing low 42s appear on the board now, or mid 42s rather, and that is pretty fast, although I think we can expect some improvements still to come. And I think more importantly, that gap between all of the drivers should shrink quite dramatically towards the end of the session as well. I'm not sure how far past, say, 41s they can go, although I wouldn't be surprised if some of them broke that. But I do know that that gap between all of the cars is going to reduce, which is going to be really, really cool to see. And I do think it's going to be a matter of fighting for small incremental increases, or rather decreases of your lap time every time you're out on track. at my board here and I can see that Phil apparently hasn't set a lap yet. Oh, never mind. No, he still hasn't. I'm not sure if my tower here is working correctly. Because it looks like we've got drivers who still haven't theoretically set a lap above other drivers. So let me quickly go into my config and see if I can fix that. There we go. That was it. I was looking at sector times for some reason. Even when we're really well prepared, there's always going to be some technical issues. But yeah, here we go. Already see the top 3 firmly in the mid 42s, and the next couple of positions are in the 43s and sneaking their way towards the 42 mark. So like I said, we've got 10 more minutes of the session, and the more laps these guys put down on the track, the more rub it in is going to get, which means they will have more grip, which means they can push a little bit harder and get those better lap times, which I think is going to make all the difference towards the end. So we do have just about everybody out on track right now, I think, save 2 cars, and one of them is now leaving the pits. So everyone's out on track, so there's quite a lot of tires making contact with tarmac. So that track condition should improve quite quickly. Right. I'm going to start a quick prediction here, I think, and I'd love to know if you guys think. 1 second. Alright, so I'm going to post a prediction here quickly, and it is going to ask you whether you think we'll see a 141 in this qualifying session today. I mean, I think Divvy, Redshift and DK are quite favourable at the moment. They have been strong in so many events. Now Toxic is joining them in the mid 42s club as well, and Turtle as well. So we now have top 5 drivers all in the mid 42s. Really nice and tight competition. I do wonder who's going to come out on top. I think from what I've heard, Redshift sounds quite confident about his abilities in these cars, and he's been really excited about this combination. So we'll see if he can challenge, because there's not a lot between himself and Divvy in P1. It's provisional pole at the moment. Let's go and have a look as he's about to finish a lap as he goes into T19 and T20. Looks like does not improve. Not quite, but maybe that was an outlap. So we'll go on board with Redshift and see if he can throw a really good lap together. He only needs about half a tenth to get closer to Divvy. But then again, he's very much under threat by DK. I mean, a couple thousandths of a second between the Redshift and DK at the moment. That's going to be a tight competition. But we see now B is also joined the 42 club with a 42.8. yes, it is going to be a great championship, and the grid is insane. Just the talent pool that we have here. I don't think you can go anywhere else and see that sort of racing that we're gonna have here. We've got Claudio joining us on the quali now as well, which is awesome to see. I believe Claudio is also a fresh face in charge, but he's already shown, I think it was last week in the Porsches in Kyalami. I think he's shown his tremendous levels of skill. So it's going to be really cool to see another really strong contender coming in and disrupting the field. And Redshift now coming to cross the line. And does improve indeed, and he does go into the 41. So here you go. If you have done a prediction, it looks like some of you have predicted that yes, we will see 41s in this quali. Well, we have 6 minutes left, and yes, indeed, we have seen a 41.9. That's half a second faster than the next person on the grid. Wow, what a lap from Redshift. And we do see that Divi is out on track, so he's going to try and challenge that. I'm sure he's not going to take this line down. Oh, I completely missed that, but DK has gone even faster. About half a tenth faster than Redshift, and he now takes a professional P1 with a 41.8. Really nice, really good job. I wish I had looked at that lap, that must have been really fast. I do wonder though, if Divi is about to challenge. I see guys improving the entire time. Alan has joined the 42 club as well with a 42.9, so he's going to be trying to push to get even further up the grid, but it's not easy when you have that many that good drivers to compete with. It is not going to be easy to push yourself up. So let's see if Divi improves on his lap. I don't think that was a qualifying lap, was it? I'm not sure, but he chooses the escape road and taps the barrier just to slow down a bit. I'm not sure what happened there. I think he might have completed a lap, but a push lap, but it wasn't good enough to improve. The 42.4, he stays third. Dario 42.43, so only 1/100th of a second behind Divi now. Wow. Very, very small margins splitting these guys up now. Claudio sets his first representative lap at 45.2, and I'm sure that that's just a warm-up lap, and he's about to try and go for some fast ones again. We only have 3.5 minutes remaining of this qualifying session. Of course, once the checkered flag goes, if you're on a lap, you're allowed to finish it, so it will be a little bit more than 3 minutes before we wrap up the quali session. But it is not a lot of time for these guys to really go out and make a splash. So see if any of them can join the 42s and maybe the 41s club. The 41s are all in the high times, so if you just can skim it, you're gonna be good. On board now with Redshift, who seems to have improved massively in Sector 1, but not so much in Sector 2, so we'll see if he can get a good exit out of the last corner. And we prefer to look at the front of his car. Just a little bit over his step, he looks good. Oh, with a 41.877. That's 7 thousandths of a second slower than DK, but the margins are incredibly close. I mean, wow. That's got to be both amazing and gut-wrenching at the same time for Redshift there. So close and yet so far, but he's still got time. He can still easily push for another lap, and maybe he'll be able to challenge then. We see Dukazek just having a little bit of a donut in the sand. That's all good. Droop Tex from the Helicam starting a lap as well now. Boy, Trutex is exploring the grass a little bit there as well. That's alright. Everyone's just trying to push really hard. Everyone's trying to gain those small fractions of a second every lap just to push themselves even a place forward. That's going to make a big difference when we come to the actual race. Because again, everyone here is just so good. I sound a bit like a broken record by saying that over and over again, but it is just true. About 20 seconds remaining of the session, so anyone that crosses the line after the timer runs out will not get to go again. It looks like Claudio's not going to be able to go again. He's not going to make it to the line to start another lap. So have a look. Where's DK right now? Because he's improved in S1 in sector 1, but not so much in sector 2. So I don't think he's going to be able to improve, and he's not going to be able to start another lap after this. And he backs out. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think just a little bit of oversteer at the exit there. But Redshift going on an absolute flyer right now. 2 tenths faster, 2.5 tenths faster in the first sector. So pressure is on. If he can keep it on track. Oh, little slide. He catches it, I think. Oh God, I might have cursed him. No, he's good. He's still going. Wow, really good car control there to keep it on the tarmac. Lost quite a bit of time, unfortunately, due to that sliding, but at least he didn't go in the grass. Still possibly a chance for an improvement. I'm not sure. Probably not. So, unfortunately. So it looks like DK is going to be taking the pole position here, unless Divi's going to upset something with his finishing lap. But here we go on board with Divi now for his final lap. The top 8 drivers are only separated by a second. Oh no, it looks like Divi's got just one tire onto the sand, and that's enough to unfortunately upset things. So let's have a look. Turtle is now coming to a close of his final lap. As he got into fair. I'm not sure if he was on a flyer here. I don't have all the timings up on the board, unfortunately. Oh, and Turtle does improve. He goes 5th fastest with a 42.08. Really nice. Really good effort towards the end of the session. Just gotta get it right at the end. Nobody else could improve, I don't think. And so here we are, ladies and gentlemen. What an absolutely incredible result of the first qualifying in the Shakedown race. We're only just getting started. These guys are going to master these cars by the end of the championship, and it's going to be a pleasant watch to see them go through that journey. And of course, we'll be here to take you along on that journey as well. So don't go anywhere, stay with us. We're now just having a very quick break between qualifying and when the race grids up and starts. And as we do that, let me quickly walk you through the session that we have for you today. So we're at the Shakedown. This is round 0. It is not a championship point scoring race. We're here at Autodrom Most in the Czech Republic. We've got a track that's 3.2 kilometers long and it has 20 turns. So like I said, a lot of these turns don't feel like corners, and the weather is primed for really good racing. So I hope you stick around and watch with me as this thing gets going. And we do have a, like I said, 10-minute practice, 20-minute qualifying, and a 45-minute race. So the cars are now on the grid. They're all waiting for it. We've got DK in pole position, the first one of the championship. Doesn't really count because there's no point scoring race, but still must feel really good. Redshift in a close second, and Divi, then Dario, Turtle in P5, Toxic in P6. Then we've got B260 with Alan, and then AAP. Then we've got Drooptex, Shallow Water, Smithy, Jerd, Phil in P14, Boz in P15, Claudio in 16th, Chikuzek in 17th, and Pikaroshu in 18th, and me in dead last, sitting in the pits somewhere over there. But here we go, we're getting ready to go, so I'm going to stop looking around. And the lights are coming on. And the lights are off, so off we go for the first few laps of this race. Let's see. Oh, we see already some collisions in the back of the grid, but the front looks pretty tidy. Oh, someone took a lot of cars out there at the end. T1, oh, very tidy, very close, but Redshift looking for an early look. DK defending, not really trying to give him any space, but does eventually have to yield, and Redshift gets ahead in T2. Really nice. Let me get out of this camera because I'm not going to be able to do everything at the same time. We've got Shallow Water fighting with Jerd here. Let's have a look at DK. Is he going to be able to get it back from Redshift on his opening lap for the race? Divi's also right behind them, and Dario too. Oh, so many things are happening at the same time. Chikuzek is improving. I think Smithy had a slight off there. He's back on track and he looks alright, so that's all good. But he's lost a couple positions. We see B260 also, I think. Oh, B260 must have had an off. Yes, he must be in the gravel. Oh, Divi having a little bit of a tussle with, I think, Turtle. But they both stay on track by the looks of things, so all good. Like I said, those cars will be bumping doors, but that's all good as long as nobody gets seriously disadvantaged. I think rubbing generally is considered racing here. So we'll see how it gets on, but Redshift already... Redshift just excels at getting out ahead early and then building a gap. But then DK, he just doesn't let it get to his head. You can see he's already closed in 1/10 of a second on the straight. This is a very long straight, so a little bit of slipstreaming is probably going to go a long way. Really hard braking zone into T1. See Divi and Turtle battling. Oh, and Divi, I think that's Toxic. Toxic and Divi coming together slightly on the exit of on the exit of T2. And it looks like Divi and Toxic both lost out because of it. Unfortunate contact there, but they're still going. I mean, look how close the grids are here. Unfortunately, we see Pika just on the runaway. What's happening here? Alan seems to have gotten ahead of Jerd, and then Toxic dropping a little bit further. Let's have a look at what Alan's doing. That's 3 wide into the kink now. They line up nicely for it. Nobody's trying to be super brave here. Oh, Toxic really negotiated the limit there. I think just a tiny bit of his tire went on the on the gravel. That must have been scary. But Redshift a second ahead now of DK, who's got Dario right on his bumper. I want to go ahead and have a look at that battle, but first I'm going to stick around here and see if anyone's doing anything toxic. Taking a little bit of grass, it's all good. Just exploring. But he does get away. He does get ahead of Shallow Water, I think. God, so many things changing on the tower. It's difficult to keep up with it. It looks like Redshift sets the fastest lap with a 43 something. I can't remember. I didn't see it. I was checking if anyone else beat him. Dario now is dropping back a little bit from DK. But I don't know, I feel like a second in these cars is not a big gap to have either way. A little bit of contact, a little bit of a lockdown from Shallow Water onto Alan, I think. No, onto Toxic, my bad. And Jed now gets ahead of Shallow Water. Is he going to be able to make it stick? Oh, a little bit of sausage curve there. That throws the car around a bit. Not going to be pleasant from the driver, but I think he's all right. All right, let's have a look at Dario. Is he chasing? He is chasing DK. He's getting closer and closer. Hey, Tommy, great to have you. Great to have you in the chat, my man. Sad to not have you with me in the commentary booth, but really happy that you're watching. And thank you. Oh God, just looking at the board and looking for gaps, trying to figure out who to point a spotlight at. But Dario's looking really good. That gap seems to be varying somewhere between 9/10 and 2/10 between DK and Dario. And Redshift, I think, just making the most of the situation. He looks in his rearview mirrors and he sees that DK is doing his best to defend from Dario, but Dario's not letting up, which just lets the Redshift build up a bit of a gap there. See that battle between Judd and Shallow Water continuing as they just seem to be switching places every couple of turns. Really awesome to see. Wow. Be good to have another camera person here with me to just find the gaps, so I could just talk and not have to look at the gaps closing in and extending. It looks like Phil might have had enough as well, unfortunately. It looks like Judd is getting away from Shallow now, just a bit, but we have seen that gap fluctuate here and there, so it might not be all done and dusted yet. Let's have a look. Darius, he's still on the bumper of DK, just not letting up. He's going to be putting pressure on him the entire race line. 45 minutes is a long race, so things can still very much change and shake up. I see Smithy and Drootex going for a nice little wheel-to-wheel battle. Let's have a look at that. I think Smithy got ahead of Drootex into the, I guess, the hairpin. I think it's the tightest corner on the track, so I think we can call it a hairpin. I think Smithy just managed to get ahead of Drootex for a moment, but then a little quick switchback from Drootex reversed the positions again. Smithy, oh, with a little bit of drift. Smithy just keeping it stylish, putting on a show for us. See quickly here, B260 going to try and make an attack on both the two blue cars, looking really good. The BMW fighting the Mercedes. Oh boy, who's going to prevail here? I think it's going to be about who gets the better exit here. No wheel spin from either of them by the looks of things, but it looks like B260 gets a better exit out of the last turn, and on the really long straight he's got the inside line into the hard braking zone into T1. Oh, we need to look at it from the outside because there's going to be a potential for a quick switchback here. Let's have a look. No switchback so far, but nicely turned in from both of them, nice and clean. Very close racing, very clean and respectful. Love to see it. Oh, and Smithy does get ahead of Drootex, and unfortunately missed that for the battle behind them, but really good to see that racing continue. It looks like Drootex is not far behind still, but B260 and Boz together look really quick, so I think I think we might have a four-man battle on our hands now. What happened at the front here? DK is second behind Redshift, but Dario is almost 2 seconds behind DK now. Has DK suddenly found an extra level of grip that he hasn't had before, or maybe Dario made a small mistake that cost him just a little bit of time? Not sure. Unfortunately missed that. Sorry, guys. Let's have a look here. Judd is trying to make it stick and get past Alan. It's going to be difficult. He goes around the outside. Oh, a little bit too far on the outside. He goes into the grass, but safely managed to get the car back on track. No spin. It's really, I mean, the amount of power these cars have. If you get a little bit of that wheel spin, it can be difficult to keep them retained on track. But he's done a really good job with that, and he is safely back and going to try again, I think, next lap probably. But B260 now, look, he's closed up on Druptex. And Boz is now sort of... Boz unfortunately fell off somewhere behind, but B260 going with the same move on Druptex that he used on Boz previously. Oh, and does he take 2 in 1? Not quite 2 in 1. Oh, they touch. How's Druptex? Druptex alright. There was a little bit of contact there. Unfortunately, Druptex, I think, had the worst of it. Oh, wow. That was almost, by the looks of it, that was almost a 2 in 1 overtake for B260. That was a brave move. Hopefully that wasn't anything to be penalized there. I don't know. We're not going to be doing stewarding now, but let's move on and have a look at what Shallow Water is trying to do here, trying to chase Claudio. Claudio started, I think, 16th or 15th, something like that. So look, he's already 9th. He's doing really well for himself, but it looks like he might have some damage because he's going quite slowly, I think. Or maybe he was just trying to let Shallow pass. I'm not sure what happened there, but we'll continue to watch this story develop. Shallow Water's car looks a little bit dinged up, if I do say so myself. I wonder why that is. But Claudio is now sitting right on his bumper. He's not going to let up. Dario is now 4 seconds away from DK. But DK and Redshift, that 1 second gap does not seem to go much above, say, 1.2 seconds, so they're really close together. And oh no, it looks like Shallow. Oh, I was looking at the tower. I wasn't quite sure if they touched or not. Is he going to have a nice safe return to the track? Yes, everyone easily navigates around him. Everyone's going to the outside. He's right in the middle of the track, so he's all right. Oh, unfortunate for Shallow Water. Oh, that's not good to see, but we'll see if he can reclaim some of those lost positions there. I think he lost 4 or 5 positions, I think. Oh, really? They might have netcoded each other, says Naughty Dragon. I don't know. I honestly was just looking at the table again to see where there are battles, and here we are, Judd, Allen, and AAP15. Sorry if that's not how you want your name pronounced, but that's what it says on my screen, so that's what it's going to be for me. But they're all within a second of each other as well, so this is going to be a good battle potentially here as well. But in the meantime, B260 still chasing down Smithy behind, and Druptex not letting up very much either. Boz is 2 seconds behind them. It looks like Redshift just has a massively commanding lead. He doesn't seem to be making mistakes so far. I don't wanna place a down under. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, Shallow Water with the distance and the ping involved, there might be some lags involved. So we'll have a look at what happened there later after the race and see if we can do anything to help alleviate those issues. In the meantime, Judd, oh, is he going to get a better exit? They're so close. It's just bumper to bumper. Is he going to get a better exit? It looks like no. It looks like Alan has had a better drive out of last turn. Looks like Toxic is in the dirt. I'm not sure what happened there, but he's going down. Oh, Judd late on the brakes. What a move. Is he going to make it stick though? It looks like he does. I think Alan gave him plenty of room there, and I didn't want to risk a massive collision. I think the experience that Alan has, he knows that when damage is on, oh, we've got a really good camera there. When damage is on, you don't necessarily want to take every risk that presents itself. So I think he's just going to try and reclaim that position from Judd another time. Let's have a look at B260 making attempts here at Smithy. I mean, B260 with a really good drive today. Just some really good overtakes and some really awesome pace. It's funny to see one side of his car is slightly dinged up and the other is practically pristine, so not sure what happened there, but I'm sure we'll be talking about it for a while still after the Tommy saying nice to see B with a complete car. Yes, it is. It's nice to see everyone with a complete car. I don't think any body parts are flying around yet. Oh, Smithy with a little bit of a drift. I think this is the second time he's done that on that corner. I think he just wants to show off a little bit. Maybe communicate to B260 behind him that he's not too afraid. Oh, but he put a wheel on the grass and that slowed him down. So B260 is going to go on the inside of T19 and he's going to try and make it stick. They both brake roughly about the same time, but I think... Oh, God, this is too close. Oh, B260 does manage it. Oh, and I think Smithy went on the... Oh, Smithy went on that really deadly sausage curve on the inside that I mentioned in practice, and that is a scary moment, but he does catch it. Really nice job there to really nice job to keep it held clean through there. And Smithy does take back the position from Drooptex by the looks of it, but Drooptex is not letting up. He's going to try and reclaim it. And he's right on Smithy's bumper. Oh God, where do we go next? Claudio and Judd are still battling away here. So I'm not sure if Claudio let Judd ahead earlier. Oh no, B260 had an off! Oh no! Oh, after so many positions and so many wonderful overtakes, he is in the gravel and he's standing still just to not get in the way of anybody. Really nice and careful rejoin from him. That's good to see. This is not posing a danger to other members of the circuit. That's a shame. I'm really sorry to see that B260. But Smithy is going to breathe a sigh of relief, I'll tell you that. And now Smithy and Drooptex are going wheel to wheel, side to side, and trying to battle it out. Oh! With a bit of a switchback, Drooptex was a little bit on the outside of that corner. I think he touched the grass a bit, which we've seen. I think it was Smithy has done the same last lap. And is this the same move that B260's just done on Smithy? Are they just doing the same thing? It looks like it. Nicely done. What a beautiful maneuver. Oh, it looks like Boz is now off as well. Was that the curb on the last turn that cut him out? I know I've suffered from it multiple times when I was driving around these cars just to get a feel for them, and yeah, it's sad. It can cause a lot of damage, those curbs. Oh no, B260 I think had another out and he's lost another position to Jikozek. He's now P17, but we still have got 28 minutes left of this race, so more than half, so there's still plenty of potential for a comeback. I mean, if Boss can have an off after a drive like he's had so far, I think he still has a chance that those ahead of him might lose out as well. And I don't know what happened at the front because I wasn't paying attention, but Redshift is now almost 3 seconds away from DK. So that gap definitely has increased now. I'm not sure if it's just Redshift finding another sliver of pacing, or it's something to do maybe with tire wear and that sort of thing, where DK was for a while also defending from Dario, so might have lost a little bit of that there. And we'll probably start seeing these guys coming into pits at some point soon, I think. I haven't talked to anybody to figure out what the strategies are, so I honestly don't know. Tommy is asking if there will be a pit stop. Yes, I do believe that. I believe that everyone will be pit stopping. Yes, it's not. I don't think it's mandatory. Judd is looking on a move into T1 on AP. He manages to stick it in front of him before, I think, the braking zone even, and just nice and clean keeps it on the track. I'm really impressed with how these guys are managing that T1 T2 combo, because at the beginning of the week when we put up the server and a couple of us were trying the cars on this server and on this track, it's that T1 T2 seemed like a big problem for more than a few people, so it's awesome to see that everyone's brave enough to throw some absolutely mental overtakes through that. Yes, people are being coy with mandatory with strategy. Yes, absolutely. We don't enforce mandatory pit stops, no. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple people do pit stops, especially because we do have damage on. I mean, repairing damage is going to take a long time, so they would rather not have to do that. But if they must, they would. Naughty things that they don't even know whether they're going to be pitting. I mean, I'm sure there's a handful of them that still haven't considered it. Yeah. I know that every time I line up on the grid, I still don't know whether I need to pit or not, how much fuel I need to put in. But the good thing is that typically we can ask our friends around us on the grid, and everyone's super friendly here in Charged, and will mostly help you. But this isn't weeklies, this is a championship, so these guys are going to be battling hard. Tommy AWS tire strats for Charged. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. They've got 90% tire damage. I'm going to just take them to the end of the race. That's what that would say, I think. I don't know, I haven't looked into that yet. Maybe we'll bring something like that out, but I wouldn't hold my breath. Oh no, Toxic locks up, I think, a little bit into T1. I think he was trying to brake a little bit later to close the gap ahead, and I think that's just cost him. God, let's go up ahead here, because Claudio is looking to have a look at AAP, but Jerd has gone in front of AAP and Claudio, obviously. So that's cool to see. I think Alan's dropped a few places, unfortunately. I think he was up in P7 there. I'm not sure what happened there. Oh, looks like Smithy is dropped down behind Taxi. Oh no, what happened to Dario? Oh god. I'm not sure what happened here, but Turtle in P3 now. Ren's asking if we're gonna have an AWS bot that just says striking distance in 2 laps. Yes, we can make that no problem. Just a nice little graphic that says something like charged web services, and it will be striking distance 2 laps every time. Yeah. Oh, what a shame for Dario. I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if maybe he had a little off. I didn't see the indicator go red for him to indicate that he went off the track. So maybe a little half spin or something, or maybe Turtle has just found some incredible pace and just caught up to him. Honestly, the amount of close battles that we see in the back, like this one here in P8 and 9, in the middle pack and in the back, the amount of close battles just prevent me from looking at what's happening at the front, because to be honest, look at this guy. Redshift is just 12 laps in, looks like he doesn't, like he's not even breaking a sweat yet. So that's awesome to see. He's commanding the lead of this race. Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of these guys have had contact, and the grid is still fairly closely packed, I would say. There are definitely little pockets of drivers. I think Chico's just went off there as we saw the indicator of cut track go red. Let's have a look if Dario can recover that P3 position. Pardon me. Like I said, I wonder if strategy is going to play a part here in the final classification of this race. We just don't know. These guys are keeping their strategy so secretive that even I don't know, and I'm not even taking part. Yeah, that gap between Dario and Turtle seems to be constantly shrinking. Oh, looks like Toxic has gotten ahead of Droop Tags to claim P10. That's good to see. I'm not going to go to see the P10 battle because we're looking at the P3 and P4 battle right now here. As Divi is also just on the bumper of Dario, so these guys, oh god, all three of them are on another level. It's going to be really interesting to see who comes out on top here, but I think another thing to look at here is going to be DK is also 12 seconds ahead of Turtle, so P1 and P2, provided they don't make any mistakes, because it's not difficult to lose 15 seconds if you go off track. Provided that Redshift and DK stay clean and don't make many mistakes, I mean, it looks like they've got Banker at the moment. Okay, Tommy's saying that he thinks hard tires are not stopping and mediums will be stopping soon. Interesting, yeah, that's quite possible. Almost everyone is on hards. We do see a couple mediums, shallow water is on mediums. And no, that's it. Only shallow water is driving on mediums. Not sure. I think oh, why did we miss that? Oh no, Dario in the gravel. And Divi slowing down, I think, to give him space. I'm not sure what happened there, if they came together. There's a bit of I mean, the back of Dario's car is looking a little bit bumped up, so maybe they did clash. To be honest, I was looking at chat there, so apologies. But they continue battling away. Now Turtle is 6 seconds ahead, so like I said, it's not difficult to gain or lose full-on seconds when someone else makes a mistake. Oh wow, Dario showing off with a nice little slide through the hairpin. Naughty's saying that he's impressed with Turtle. Turtle is one of the only drivers who's consistently consistent. I like that. Yeah, I mean, like, he's just putting in laps, and they're fast every time. So he caught up and he took P3 on merit. So I think that's really good to see. Yeah. Sounds like Base saying that Dario's tires are probably going. Yeah, it looks like it, because he is sliding quite a bit. Should we have a look through maybe some drone cam to see how much sliding he does? Should do some investigation here. Well, it looks like pretty good drive out of last turn, and that is a very slippery corner in my experience. So far so good. You see AAP and Alan battling it out, and I think AAP getting ahead of Alan. We're gonna head over to them in just a second. We'll see if Dario is slipping around. If his tires are a shot, then he's handling them really well. I'll say that. See what Alan and AAP are doing here in the P9 and P8 battle, or rather battle for P8. Just listen to those cars. I mean, they sound incredible. Thanks, Tommy. Good piloting. That's why I'm not speaking, because I'm focusing on this. It's probably not a very good thing to do on stream, but here we go. It looks like Claudia has gotten away from Alan by a fair bit. It didn't look like Alan made a mistake there, so I'm not sure what happened. Maybe he just slowed down a bit. But anyway, I think enough of that. Let's have a look. Divi in P6. He lost out to Judd. How did I miss that? See, this is why I shouldn't be on the drum cam, because I'm missing really key things here on this race. 16 minutes remaining, 17 minutes, sorry, 17 minutes remaining of this race. And it looks like Divi, who was once in P4 and P5, somewhere around there, has dropped a position to P6. I think he slowed down. I think there might have been some contact between Divi and Dario, and it looked like Divi just wanted to give Dario the position back, and I think the fact that he slowed down so much just meant that he lost out a fair bit. But he is doing pretty well for himself either way, I would say. And the grid is now slightly starting to spread out. I think this is because, like I said, tires, possibly some fuel differences, mostly tires and their degradation will have an impact on how these guys are managing their pace. And it does look like it's sort of dropping off for everybody. I think slightly, except for Redshift, who's just well in his own world, really. I mean, I love this livery. Divi has done an amazing job with this car. It just looks so vibrant and colourful. Uh-oh. It looks like Dario is in the gravel. As I say that, we just missed that. Oh no, those tyres are going to be absolutely dead after this. And I think Alan is in the grass as well. Oh no, so these guys are going... I would wager to say that both Dario and Alan might try and pit, because recovering those tires after they go to 300 degrees Celsius is going to be quite difficult. And we have the first entrant in the pit lane. It looks like Divi has opted to pit, and he's had a couple of offs as well himself. So, not entirely surprised. He's probably changing his tires. Oh, he's done damage fixing as well by the looks of it, and off he goes. He's leaving the pits now. I wonder if we're going to see more of that as we go along. Nice and slow on the exit of the pit lane to not get in the way of AAP 15. Very nice. Good of him to look in his mirrors. Yeah. God, Alan's dropped down to P11 now. That's unfortunate. "14 minutes of ETC pain is eternal." I don't think it's so bad. I think it's quite fun. I'm sure these guys are enjoying themselves too, because I think everyone that signed up for this competition absolutely loves these cars. And we do hope that you guys love to watch them as well. Alright, let's have a look up here. Battle for P4. It looks like Divi's gaining on Judd, but Judd has had such a strong race today. I mean, we saw him battling earlier in the midfield, somewhere around P10, and now he's in P4. He's quite a fair distance away from Turtle, but we've seen everyone except for DK and Redshift, I think, make some sort of a mistake. So it's not all out of the question yet. Looks like Alan is closing in on Trooptex in the battle for P10 as well. Let's go and board and see what's that going. Oh, that's because Trooptex is the next car going into the pit lane. So we've got car number 17 stopping. Is that car number 17? I'm not sure. That's what it says on the board. So let's say it is, and he's stopping as well. I wonder if that is just going to be tire change or more. And we'll see how many positions he's lost. So he's lost 2 positions so far. It's quite a long stop. That's got to be damage fixing as well. So we'll move on from that for now. Let's have a look at what's happening out here. Yeah, so here we go. We are seeing pit stops, which is great to see. I think when pits are encouraged, it adds a level of strategy to the game, to the race itself, that really can change things around, especially towards the end of the race. Oh, nice little bit of sliding there by the looks of it from Judd. Cutting it really close there for Judd by that sausage curb. I'm telling you, I'm not making it up. That sausage curb just wants to murder people. He just took the initial beeline, says Ren. Oh, just so gutted for Dario. He's now in P8. I think those tires. He opted not to pit from what I've seen, so it looks like he's just nursing the tires and trying to make them work. But when they had that much time in the gravel and spinning, I think that's going to make them a little bit upset and quite red in anger, if you will. So Toxic is just behind him. He almost looked for a quick little overtake on the exit of P2, but he I think couldn't get a better drive than Dario. Smithy had a slight off, I think, but he is still on track by the looks of things. I mean, look at this. It's somewhere between 4 and 6 tenths of a second gap. There's only about what 2 car lengths for these cars, so it's maybe 3, but it's such a small gap. So even a second is not actually that massive of a difference for these cars. It looks like DK just set a 42.6. I think that might have been the fastest lap of the race so far, at least. Well, of course, these races are not, or this race is not for points in the championship. So a little bit of exploration of limits and a little bit of drops in the standings throughout the race isn't that big of a deal for these guys. It's going to feel bad for a moment because, of course, all of these guys are super competitive. But I think they're all going to be able to collect themselves from any sort of mistakes they've made in this race and apply that knowledge to just be that much better in the coming races in the championship. So stay tuned and join us on Saturdays between 6:30 and 8 p.m. Universal Coordinated Universal Time, I think is what it's called, UTC time zone, and yeah, come and watch these guys absolutely do an awesome job of driving these awesome cars that sound like nothing else. It looks like Divi is closing in on Judd, as Toxic is also closing in on Dario. I think we're going to have to go and have a look at this battle up for P4, because Divi, I don't think he's really ready to say goodbye to that P4 position. I think he wants it, and I think he wants it bad. So let's see if he can make a move happen in the next 8.5 minutes. It looks like we've had 2 pit stops, 2 or 3 pit stops. I think it's 2. 2 pit stops in the race. So I think we might need to do something about that to possibly encourage more pit stops for everyone. I think it will add a little bit more of a twist to the race throughout the 45 minutes. It looks like Dario and Toxic are switching places as they go into the last straight. I'm so sorry I missed that. They just... Toxic got ahead, then Dario got ahead, and Toxic got ahead, and now Dario is ahead and holding it. And he's holding the inside light. He doesn't want to give it up. He's made that move himself before, so he knows that going on the inside is going to be really, really good for Toxic. And he is holding the line. They do not touch. Really nice and clean, but looks like Dario had to go a little bit maybe wider than he wanted to. But as a result, Toxic could not... Oh my god, awful camera angles here. Sorry about that. Oh god, where am I? Where am I? Here we go, back to Dario and Toxic. Yeah, it looked like Dario took a wider line, but he was able to get a more smooth drive out of T2 and subsequently leave enough room for Toxic to go on the inside, and Toxic had to take a bit of a narrow line through there. It is a very sharp turn. Both of them, the whole chicane is really really sharp. Oh, looks like Dario is putting two wheels on the sausage curb, and that's going to upset the car a little bit, but he's all right. He didn't spin, which is awesome to see. Looks like Divi's backed off of Judd a little bit. Maybe he's trying to save his tires up and maybe having a look towards the end of the race at some point. Looks like Droopdex is also looking for him. Oh no, he's not. Never mind. Oh, I spoke too early. It looked like Droopdex was really closing in on Boz, and that was posing to be a really good. Oh no, no! What happened to Divi? Looks like Divi's DNF'd. He's off. He's out of the server, I believe. Oh no, Judd is going to breathe an absolute massive sigh of relief there. Oh, what a shame. He had such a good drive today. So in that case, I think we can stay on with Dario and Toxic as they fight for P7. Everyone is going to be moving up in the grid now as Divi is in the pits and retired from the race. Shame. Oh, okay, I see. So it looks like Dario and Toxic have lapped a car, and I'm not sure exactly who that was. It might have been Picarosha, because I know he was in the black and white Mercedes. It was Picarosha, yeah. So Dario and Toxic end up making their way around him, and again, into the last complex of corners, they are just switching positions, just up and down. It's gonna be... Oh no, Divi's back in his car by the looks of it. I think he just joined the server again. Oh, that... You think that was a... I think I see some stuff with the chat that might mean that Divi had an internet issue and that's why he DNF'd. I don't know, they're speaking in tongues as far as I'm concerned in the chat right now. But it's nice to see that he's coming back. I know that it can be really demoralizing when you have a disconnect. Especially towards the later stage of the race, and you feel like you might not be able to do a whole lot to recover. But it's good to have that fighting spirit and get back in the car and just drive it to the end. Oh wow, let's just go on board with Redshift for a minute and just appreciate this man's ability to drive this car for now 42 minutes and just build up a gap to DK by almost 5 seconds by the looks of things. And let's not forget, yeah, nobody in this race is slow. These are all really fast drivers. So to be able to have a dominant performance like that, it's worth applauding, I think. And to be honest, quite the same to DK. He's done really well for himself. Unfortunately, lost the pole position in the first few corners, but that is the nature of racing sometimes. And I'm sure he's going to want to put a lot more practice in and fight back and have an episode of revenge in the next few races coming up. Alright, I think what we're going to do here is just really quickly, I'm going to throw away another prediction for you. So, do you think who do you think is going to come out on top in this battle between Dario and Toxic by the end of the race. So here you go. It is, I think it is set. Vote away and earn some points and cheer on for your favorite drivers. Remember to use that little extra cheer button that we've added to claim your points. It looks like Judd has lost P4 to Claudio. He's come out of nowhere, just suddenly caught up to him, and these cars are making it really difficult for me to spot battles before they happen because 1 second gaps just seem to go really, really quickly sometimes. Have we seen Smithy's livery today? Says Naughty. No, I don't think he submitted a livery yet, so it's not on the server. But I do think that it will be on for the next race, hopefully, for the first actual kickoff of the championship. I'm hoping to see, well, as many as possible, really. Liveries. It looks like Dario is quite heavily favoured here, with one person putting 1,000 charge points and one other person putting a 10 points into Toxic. And look at that, Toxic does get away with just get ahead of Dario, but they, oh wow, Dario I think didn't expect to see that sausage curb stick out on that overtake. Is staying ahead, at least for now, and it looks like Redshift is on his final lap, so Dario does get away ahead. Oh no, and they touch, then they drift through the corner, and it looks like Toxic gets the worst of it by going in the dirt. They both make it back on track. Do they know that there's like charge points on the line for the winner? It looks like DK might have had a little bit of a spin at some point because he is lost another 10 seconds to Redshift in the latter stages of this race. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, just look at this guy. Absolute dominant performance today. You love to see it. I think it's going to be really interesting to see if anyone can challenge Redshift in the coming races. I hope so. I hope we see more battles at the front, but it's also been really, really good to see the battles in the mid and back field as well. But here we go. He's now going through sector 3, and I think he's going to be very pleased with himself. It looks like Toxic has taken P7 from Dario again. I'm not sure what happened there, but the gap has increased by a second very quickly, so maybe there's a slight off there. But here we go. T19, T20 with a bit of a drift from Redshift. Maybe he knows that we're looking at him. And here he is. Ladies and gentlemen, Redshift, your winner of the Shakedown race here at Most in Czech Republic. What a performance from him. Has a little nice little drift in the BMW Spirit. Hopefully he won't get in the way of anybody still racing, but let's have a look. Then DK crosses the line to take second, and it looks like Turtle is going to comfortably come in to take third, and that's also such a good performance from Turtle. Just like Naughty said, really, really consistent drive from him. Really nice to see. Then we've got Claudio coming through to take a P4 away from Judd, who finishes P5 in the last 6 minutes of the race, I think. And then we have AAP 15, and I'm not sure if it is a debut race for AAP 15 or not. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen AAP 15 before, and he's going to be looking to take a 6th position here. And Dario gets away from Toxic on the last corner. It looks like Toxic has slowed down just before the finish of the race. So Dario is going to be taking P7, and Toxic is going to maybe take... No, Alan's going to take P8 by the looks of it, as Toxic is rolling towards the end. Has he run out of fuel? Has he run out of fuel? It sounds like his car is still on. But it looks like maybe Toxic has run out of fuel. Smithy with some incredible overtakes that we've seen today. Really nice performance from him, going 9th. Ahead of Toxic finishing 10th, and Phil in P11. Really nice drive from Phil as well. We haven't apologies to Phil, I haven't looked very much at his drive today. And then we have Boz in P12, Shallow Water in P13, Jikuzek in P14, P260 with an unfortunate P15 after so many awesome overtakes early in the race. That was really fun to watch, so thanks B for putting on a show for us. And we've got Pika in P16, Druptix in 17th, and Divi in really unfortunate 18th. He's had such an up and down race. Really good drive from early on, and just unfortunate at the end with the disconnect. But I think that is going to be all from us today. We're not going to be doing any interviews today because this is just a shakedown, so nothing on the line really for these guys. But let me quickly walk you through what's going to come next in a few weeks' time. So we've just finished the round 0, the shakedown at Autodrom Most. So next we're going to Poland. We're going to Tor Poznań in Poland, and that's going to happen on the 30th of October. And then after that we're going to go to Nürburgring, to Germany, on the 6th of November, and then after that to Vallelunga in Italy on the 13th of November. Then we're going to take a week's break, and then we're going to go into the later stage of the season. It's going to be Dijon Prenot GP. I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't speak French, so apologies if that's not how that sounds. But round 4 is going to be in France on the 27th of November, and then round 5 we're going to close off with Donington on the 4th of December, right before Christmas, basically. So that is going to be pretty awesome. And all of these races are going to take place at 6:30 p.m. Universal Time. That's when practice will start, and the race will start about half an hour after that. So about 7 is when the race will start, and we'll finish about 8. So come on and join us here on Twitch. Come on and join us on discord.gg/charge. Join the community. We've got weeklies. We've got a weekly coming up tomorrow at Silverstone. We're going to be running the McLaren 720S GT3 car around Silverstone. It's going to be a blast. Come on and join us. Have some racing with us. And yeah. Thank you all so much for joining us here today for this first stream of the European Touring Championship by Charged. We're just getting started. This was not a point scoring race, like I said multiple times today, but starting 30th of October, we're kicking off the season proper, and we're going to be seeing a really, really fierce competition like you've seen today, but ramped up even more. So again, thanks so much for joining us here today, and that's everything from me. I'm Elmo. Come join us on Discord. Wow, that's it. Thanks, guys. See you later.